Who's joining us now? Participants, Ross. Ross, are you there? Participants, Ross. Are you there, Ross?
I'm here.
Hello, mate.
Hello, guys. How's it going?
Good.
Good stuff.
All right. So let's kick off. First of all, need someone to read the pre-recording consent form. Maybe one day I'll get round to fixing the spelling mistake on it. But in the meantime, you get the idea. Who's going to read it today, Trevin?
Um, I think I think Rush should read it.
Okay.
Russ, you good to do that?
I'm good, yeah.
Go for it.
Okay, pre-recording consent. Before we begin reading, I want to make sure everyone is aware and comfortable. This session is being streamed and recorded as part of UACT's LEROs mission to build recovery capital and challenge stigma. Your personal safety and comfort come first. If at any time you would like your contribution or the recording deleted, please say so, and I will remove it without question. It will be removed without question. Please remember, take personal responsibility for what you share. This is an adult learning environment, not therapy, mutual aid, or a faith-based organization. If you are happy to proceed, please give a verbal yes, or use the chat to confirm you consent to the recording.
Verbal yes from me.
Verbal yes from me.
Yeah.
All right. Marcus has run away, so we're assuming he knows how to look after himself there. He's back. Are you good for the recording, Marcus?
Yes, yeah, no worries.
All right. So we always start with a check-in, and we contract and building the container. Yep. So that consent is part of the contracting. Yep, it's part of being transparent and bringing safety to this. Morning, Olivia.
Morning.
Would you like to check in?
Yeah, I'm feeling good today. Yeah, just good, fine.
Okay, good. That'll pass. Just stick around a bit. We'll change
Okay.
that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm joking. So, yeah, so let's start there around safety around the container. Yep, and before we go there, yep, let's just check. Was there any homework from last week? Was there any accountability piece? Did people say they were going to do something? Marcus and Ross are quite new to this, yep. But Trevin, Anthony, and Olivia have been around a bit, yeah. So was there any homework or anything you guys agreed to do?
I was only on for the first hour. I was coaching with Leanne afterwards last
How
week.
did that go?
Yeah, it was sound. It was good.
Okay, that was all part of your certification, yes?
Yeah.
And what was the outcome?
Got some good feedback. I coached Leanne.
Okay, good, good.
Yes, it was good. It was fun.
What's your area of growth?
My area of growth, I think at the minute it's just getting those last few coaching hours into getting the case studies, and then I'm close to being certified finally.
Okay, great. So as far as your technique is concerned, there was no criticism there.
I got all good feedback, which was nice.
Yeah, good, good,
Yeah.
good. I mean, Anthony, to be fair, you've sat in a lot of containers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So great. All right. Anything else? Olivia, did you have anything?
To be braver.
To be braver. Oh, yes, that's right. How did that go? That was pretty brave of you to say that.
Um, just doing some research, just figuring things out. Yeah, what right path I'm going down, weighing up the good and bad and everything else. It's difficult trying to organize anything when I've got to bring my child into it. Like, it's not difficult, it's lovely. But I have to always think of him first when I'm going for jobs or applying for anything, because he comes first.
Yeah, a mother's priority, huh?
Yeah.
And I think it's particularly difficult for mothers nowadays because you've got the pressure of getting work and being treated equal, and you're torn between being a mother and provider. So I think that creates a lot of tension that organizations struggle to accommodate. Yeah. So you
And
applied for work with CGL, is that correct? Yes.
yeah, and it was like I'd have to do blocks of 4 with 8 clients, and I couldn't commit to blocks of 4 weeks with the client, so I couldn't kind of fulfill the role. But it was really good feedback. They were really impressed. They said maybe go for a part-time job, but there's not many recovery part-time jobs out there. So
Yeah, and that's the industry challenge. So
yeah.
instead of the industry changing to meet the community and where people are at, it's like, come and fit in our box, do it our way, and and that's
And you've got the pressure of like being in addiction and coming out the other side, and then prioritizing your child because you feel so guilty about the last 2 years that I didn't have him with me, if that makes sense. So you've got all these
that makes a lot of sense. So just
yeah.
repeat that saying I.
I
Yeah. So say the
yeah.
sentence again using an I statement, and I'll tell you why in a second.
I kind of know why, but yeah, I feel that there's a lot of pressure on me to be around, like to be there for my child. As anytime his dad asks me to, I just say yes, and that's the way it's been since the supervision stopped. So going into a job, prioritizing my son comes first for me.
So I really appreciate what you said. I really understand the guilt, and in particular the shame from my own experience with my kids, and the relationship, well, of them being taken away. So I relate to that, and I understand how difficult it must be for you with these values that kind of play against each other. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think it's very brave of you to just sit here today and own that. So thank you for remembering your homework and talking about it and bringing it to the container. Great. Did you guys notice how it felt different when Olivia was using I instead of, you know what it's like when
Yeah.
you have your kids taken away and da da da. Do, do you feel the difference? Or
Yeah, I've actually used that technique myself before. Um, when I was struggling a little bit with my mental health and like waking up in the mornings and feeling like it's a chore to wake up in the mornings. I got told to say like, I get to wake up in the morning. Like I get to do this, I get to do that, and try and change that. Accountability, but also like that sort of perspective, that maybe switching that negative perspective around by using different words.
great. Good morning, Craig. Welcome.
Morning. Well, thank you, guys and
Yeah,
ladies.
cool. So just so Olivia and Craig know, we read the pre-recording preamble at the beginning, just so you both know that this is being recorded, and at any time if you want that removed. Yeah, so Craig, we're just checking in, building the container, and we're just looking at the accountability piece before we kick off. Was there any homework? So Anthony did a couple had a session with Leanne and got some feedback around that. He's got to complete hours, and Olivia's work was to show up bravely. in the workplace. Hey, Olivia, in finding work, or yeah, and we just spoke about the tension between I've got to find a job, I've got to be a good mother, and how guilt is playing in that. Yeah. So is that a fair enough summary, Olivia?
Yeah, kind of. Like before my madness happened, I was working, I was a childminder. I used to look after 11, 12 kids. So I've always had that work thing going, but my kids were with me all the time. So that was 20 years of my life I've done that. So that's a big thing going for interviews as well. Um, and my children are always known me as being a home mum. So even though I was working, but it's the more about the addiction side of it, like coming out of recovery and the guilt about recovery and your child being taken away and then being brought back again. That's kind of what I'm struggling with. It's not so much about getting a job, it's just the guilt that I feel towards my son, you know.
So there's two things I want to just quickly tap into is so in the preamble, the reason that we stream this is to try and break some of the stigma. Yep. So people get to hear the stories.
Mm.
Yep. And you've just really destigmatized or very authentically brought the challenge to the container. Yeah. And then you get something called internal oppression, where your own belief systems and own internal stigmatization keeps
Mm.
you, yeah. And I can imagine what it's like. I used to work with kids for 20 years. And then, as a result of the consequences of my addiction, I lost my kid. And that must be fucking hard to kind of get over internally with yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add?
To Marcus, when you're talking about kind of building a gap between using and getting the right sort of help and all the things that go in between, would you be looking at like the financial burden it is on people in recovery having to pay for contact centres? Is that an issue that should be brought up, do you think?
I think my approach to building an organization is not just to take the person that's not well, but to include the family in that. And rather than splitting them up and doing it separately, you kind of do it together in a safe environment. Um, so I don't know if there's a solution out there, but I do think that the justice system creates a massive unfairness when it comes to trying to just get life back on track, whether that's mental health, addiction, whatever you're going through. The the arm of the law sort of comes in and it puts this gigantic obstacle in the way that you can't move unless you're a
Mm.
solicitor and you can legally navigate it. So yeah, I think that families that are repairing shouldn't be charged in that sense because it's only going to go on to further benefit
When it could have gone on
community.
children.
Exactly, yeah. So I
Mm.
think that it's money misspent. But yeah, no family should have to spend money to heal in that sense.
Mm.
Maybe paying for a coach or someone like that, but I don't think that they should be taxed by the system for being in hardship or having adversaries. And that's why I see it as a tax
Yeah.
on the system, on families. I think if does that answer your question?
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe that's something I will kind of look into myself. Be
Yeah,
brave.
if you ever want to like body double and do some research, I'll quite happily jump on Zoom and with anyone and just try navigate
Yeah.
what it is you want to set up.
Okay. Thank you.
Mm. How exciting. This is going to be such a nice container this morning. Great. Especially when we move on to the systemic side of things. Treven, did you have any homework or anything?
No homework.
No homework.
My dog ate my homework,
Your dog
unfortunately.
ate your homework. I can tell you're full of cuck. All right, no problem. Ross, Craig?
All yours, Ross.
Mhm.
I was waiting for you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm good. I've got a lot going on at the moment, so it's quite a busy life. But yeah, on the whole, managing it well. No homework that I can remember of. David.
He's being cautious. He's kind of priming us
No.
with a story. Yeah, my life's going good, and that's it. No homework. I could kind of
No,
relax. It's all good. It's all good.
yeah, no, I feel good. I've introduced a few healthy habits into my life. Kind of not a religious guy, but I like some of the principles of religion, and I latched on to Lent, and
Oh, excellent.
I've given up sugar, and I've stopped like having cordial in my cordial. I've been just drinking like water and fresh ginger and little things, but they stack up personally for me, and yeah, little things like that I've really switched around in my life, which I'm really proud of actually. So, and I'm feeling more
Great.
positive, because of those little habit changes. Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Craig, if I remember,
Okay, well,
you had to leave a bit early last week. Is that correct?
Yeah, I've got issue with my mother, Dave, but hopefully we'll sort it out. Her blood pressure was 240, so I had to rush her off, had a halter fitted. So I've had an emotional roller coaster of a weekend. I've had my mother, then I had my daughter visiting from Cape Town, which was wonderful to spend time with my two daughters. And then in between, one of my friends threw me a hot potato. He sponsors someone, and guy trying to commit suicide on Saturday and Sunday I had to deal with, which was quite an interesting scenario. The guy wouldn't talk to me, and he'd stabbed himself once in the arm. My friend had been there and said he hadn't stabbed himself, but then I managed to communicate just via WhatsApp, and I'd like to ask maybe a bit of advice, in the future. I actually realized that, I've done this before, but I realized it was out of my depth. It was a really tricky
Right. Okay.
situation.
Wonderful. Wonderful. So, yeah, sorry to jump in there. I just wanted to keep it safe for the recording for other people as well. So I got a bit anxious. And it's a wonderful thing because we're doing the check-in, contracting, creating the container, and the container needs to be safe. And what you're asking for, of what you've realized is, shit, this is out of my scope of practice. So you've become consciously incompetent. It's like, yeah, peace, love, brown rice, let's coach everyone. Oh, fuck, the stakes are quite high here. That is excellent news. Yeah. So thank you so much for bringing that, Craig.
So I'm grounded, but emotionally exhausted.
Yeah. No, it's in the chaos. So let me just, where's my pen? All right, well, let me not do that. Follow my finger. So we have the culture of learning, the culture of addiction, and then we go into the culture of recovery. Yep. Or the culture of learning, culture of adversity, then the culture of resilience. And what we're trying to do is learn how to live in the culture of resilience, the culture of recovery, so that we can step into the culture of adversity or the culture of addiction, and then provide coaching services, for want of a better word, to help bring people across into the culture of recovery or the culture of resilience, which essentially sits in the place of well-being. Yep. So if you then take the those three columns, yep. So a culture of learning, that would sit in a what I would call the moral lens. Yep. The culture of addiction or culture of adversity sits in the medical lens, and then the culture of recovery or culture of resilience sits in the wellness lens. Yeah. So I think it was in 1765 or 1768 or 1778 or something. That's when the disease concept was brought into addiction treatment. Yeah, so there's work by William White that you can go and research around this sort of stuff, but the the medical approach came along and basically said, let's stop treating addiction as a moral issue. Yep, where somebody's got to kind of get right with God. Let's rather look at it as the symptoms. Yep, and try and treat someone around that. Yep, and then that's been around for a while. And what we're doing now is we're in the wellness space where we're saying multiple pathways to recovery. Yep, and that we are coaches trained in the recovery coaching space. Yep, so last week we spoke about football coaches and other types of coaching, life coaching, executive coaching, that. But our speciality here, our scope of practice is in the wellness space, yep, and supporting the system in moving. Is that making sense, Craig? Yeah. So you're a proper fucking hero. Yep, you fucking, where's the drama? Let me go in there. Fucking, let's sort it out, Owens. Come on, let's go. And then you suddenly realized, oh shit, this is out of my scope of practice. Like, wow, I've bitten off too much. Yeah, or bitten off more than I can chew. Let me refer, let me see what external recovery capital resources are out there to help this individual. Sorry, my level 1 listening's just going off and it's saying, shit, David, you know what you're talking about. Yo, that's quite impressive, eh? Fuck. Hey, sounds easy like that, hey, Craig?
It
But
does sound easy, Dave.
yeah, but the drama that goes with it, huh?
Yeah, I know, David. I couldn't reach out to anybody because he didn't want an ambulance to come. He threatened to
Okay,
stab himself.
so Craig, you can always reach out to us.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one thing. You're not
On a
alone
weekend.
here.
On a weekend.
Mate, reach out, for fuck's sakes. Your
Okay.
safety's top priority here. And
Okay.
it's also priority for the profession and what we're doing. Yeah, we can't be kind of lone rangers and say, yeah, I've done a weekend training, I've done this now. You know, yeah, David trained me. Now I can help people with suicide. Fuck. Yeah. So there's a whole multidisciplinary team that you need to be aware of. So please reach out. Yeah. Yep. And something like that would sit in the complexities of case management. So before we go there, how's your mum?
Mum's good, Dave. When I say good, she's she's had some tests done, but she's most probably going to end up at the cardiologist. So it's a stressful thing because my mother's her mother was a hypochondriac, so she'd rather not go to the doctor because she's got a fear. She's the fear of what's wrong. So she'd
Yep.
rather just avoid the thing instead of actually going and facing it.
Yep,
So,
that's called denial. It's
yeah.
a wonderful protection mechanism that we have to protect us from the reality or the horror of the truth. Yep. So when someone's in a culture of adversity, denial, justification, all that stuff lives there. Yeah. And you know, recovery coaching can help in that space as well. Yeah.
Not with an 83-year-old that's stubborn.
Well, it might help you.
Yeah, no,
It might
100%.
help you. I mean, this is your mother. Yeah.
100%.
And yeah, okay. And then you mentioned your daughters came up, or your one daughter. How was that?
Yeah, That was awesome. It's just lovely
Did
to
you
see it.
did you see when I mentioned that he had a little smile come up? Yeah. So that's level 2 body language listening. That's nice for him. That's nachas. That's something that's nice. Yeah, that's
I like the
okay.
word.
Yeah. All right. So Craig, in your personal family side of things, it's dramatic, but it's kind of nice.
Yeah, well, the weekend was a combination, but it was lovely. Everybody interacting, Dave. So spending time together.
Okay.
My children all
And
live in Qatar.
then you got the drama of your professional life coming.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. So I also want us to start to look at like this is my family stuff. This is my work stuff. Whether it's vocational work and you're doing it just because you're a good O, or because you want to be a professional in this and get paid or whatever, they're two separate camps. Yeah. And
100%.
and trust me, Craig, have not been able to get this right. Yeah, but it's taken me a hell of a long time. First of all, I've got workaholism, where I'm obsessive and I just work all the fucking time. Yeah, but I'm also driven by unresolved trauma, guilt and shame. Yeah, about that stuff. But at least I'm not fucking smoking or drinking myself to death. Does that make sense? And coming here and doing this work is very vocational for me, and it's very good for my self-esteem and my values and everything. But trust me, but my family and we've all kind of worked out. Dad's just fucking mad, but we love him. Yeah. Does that make sense? Okay. Great. So is that everyone checked in? Marcus, did you have any homework?
I didn't have any homework, but I did look at kind of refined down a little bit of what I want to do. So it's quite a big idea. So it's just trying to find a starting point. So I met up with some friends at the weekend who are kind of in the lived experience space. And I was surprised to know that they understood what a LERO was.
Oh, good.
So I'm gonna try and get them over to the dark side somehow,
Great.
and find a place for them. And then other than that, yeah, just checking in refreshed. I had a really good deep spring clean. Um, so yeah, house feels
What's your
breezy.
job title? Tell everyone your job title, please. I love it.
Um, so yeah, I don't know. I just went with lived experience strategist. It kind of encompasses a little bit of everything.
Fuck, doesn't that sound
Um,
nice? Sorry,
and it
forget.
means business. So it's kind of
Yeah, it
yeah,
means
I mean
business.
business.
Yeah, I think that's a good thing. I'm completely biased. Yes. So let me just put that out there. What's good about that for you?
It's given me it makes me feel a bit more competent
Great.
to have something to work under. I guess like a shield. Um,
Yes.
and I guess it kind of just kind of lets people know the level of my experience in a way. And it's a good conversation starter because it's not an everyday job title. So yeah, I can start a good conversation about lived experience, and that's kind of what we're doing. We're trying to build this as um, a sector within the industry, within the healthcare sector, and things like that. So yeah, I feel a bit more confident. Um, it helps saying that, like in those past meetings we've had, classes rather. Um, I identified that I didn't feel competent and I don't have the confidence. So just being around other people that can boost you just kind of helps that. So yeah, that's
So Hello, I'm Marcus. I'm a lived experience strategist. Awfully pleased to meet you. Yes. I think it's fantastic. I love it. And if I look where you were last week when you just came onto this call kind of randomly and via an email link or something, and a week later you've got a role, a title, or something that puts you in a it brings you said shield, yeah? But if the organization is a shield, it's like you've got a uniform. There's a role that's like, I like it. I really like it.
Yeah, it makes me feel like I have a purpose again. I do have other jobs and roles, but this is kind of what I want to be doing.
Great. All right. So it's half
So
past 10. Yeah, you want to say something else?
yeah, thank you for the group just
Oh,
doing what they
okay.
do, because it does push you a little bit further down that path.
Okay.
I can ask a question.
You can ask another one, yes.
Marcus. So tell me, what would fall under an experienced strategist? If I came to you, what could you help me with?
So I guess looking at organizations that don't understand what lived experience is, or yeah, so like the NHS, our national healthcare provider, they're looking into it more. And the smaller organizations that work alongside that are only finding out through organizations like this and IMROC, which is another lived experience organization. So it's just helping them, I guess, take away the red tape of the corporate structures. And it's just helping them find their feet with that. So starting co-production groups, introducing people in recovery um, to this as a way of recovering as well. Uh, yeah, and just sort of shouting about lived experience as a model. So yeah, it's yet to be defined, I think, is the actual answer.
Thank you. That was enlightening. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
It was nice, eh, Craig?
I enjoyed that.
Yeah. All right. So what have we learned in the first half an hour today? What are some of the learnings in the container?
I think that no matter how small your contribution, you don't realize how much someone will take from that and take it away and apply it. I can see Olivia with her braveness as an example. Like it's nice to see because I felt similar. So
That warms my heart when you say that. Yeah, I can see her braveness too. Okay. Treven, where are you at? You usually have something wise to say around this time.
Uh, I think that I'm learning that sometimes our past experiences can hinder our future growth, and finding that balance between past and future is really important, especially highlighting what Olivia said about working with kids and then losing her kids. Um, it's like, where do you go from there? And it's a very difficult thing to digest.
Keep going.
Yeah, that's about it.
I just want to talk about the 4 causes of addiction. And I can't find the bloody graphic. Here we go. Oh no, but that's, oh God. I do so much work and do this, and this, and then there we go. All right, cool. So I'm going back to the Collins window again. And I just want to talk about the 4 causes of addiction. Okay, can you all see the picture?
Yeah.
Yeah. So where's my little markers? This area here, the biopsychosocial model, yep, unresolved issues of guilt, shame, and trauma. What Olivia's talking about is this stuff. Yep. Where the structure around her, is it all right to talk about this, Olivia? Yeah, the structure around her took away her kids, yeah, and her job and whatever, yep, as part of her treatment process, yeah, and you could say that there was a medical chemical imbalance of self-medication through alcohol use disorder. Yep, would you agree with me? Yeah, and Olivia's culture, yep. English female, um, mother, 3 kids. Oh, Irish, English Irish. Yeah. Oh, Irish.
Irish.
Irish immigrant.
Irish passport, so I'm Irish. Yes.
Irish passport. Okay, cool. So she's a foreigner. Yeah. Okay. And you've got 3 children, yes?
Yes.
2 daughters who are much older than your 8-year-old son.
Yes.
Yep. And then you're married? You were
Divorced.
married?
Was married to the girl's mum. Dad.
Was married to the girl's mum, dad. Okay,
Dad.
cool.
Dad.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So that's a bit of a history here. Yep. Okay. What we're trying to do with coaching is we work in this space. Yep. So here's the recovery coaching window. Let me try and change the color. Let me try this one. Well, that's not very good color. Purple on blue. That was stupid. We work here. Yeah. And what we're doing is interacting with Olivia in this case now and trying to get her to move in this direction. Does that make sense to everyone? I was speaking directly to Olivia and she's run away now. Was it something I said? There we go. All right. Okay. So Olivia is now living in a place of wellness. Yep. So she's above the line here. Yep. She's coming out of treatment. Yep. You like self-help stuff, smart recovery, 12-step stuff as well. Yep. Yep. Your environment around you is changing. You're looking for work. So in this environment here, things are going quite well. Yeah. This environment down here, you're covered. Yeah, you're healthy, yes.
I got liver cirrhosis. Otherwise, I'm healthy.
But that's sort of manageable now.
Yeah, it's manageable now. Yeah.
Yeah. So you got a chronic illness that needs management.
Yeah.
Yeah. But is it okay to talk about it a bit to just help?
Yeah. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. So physically, what do you need to do to take responsibility for that?
I have 6 monthly checkups on my liver, kidneys, bladder. Check for inflammation, and I take loads of tablets.
Okay. Lots of tablets. And diet? Do you have to watch what you eat?
Nobody spoke to me about that bit yet, so yeah.
Okay. All right. So maybe there's some homework around that. Yeah. So that would me be putting forward a championing and kind of saying, Olivia, go find out about diet, how that might help. And I speak for myself as well. because when I've had liver tests done for cirrhosis, I also found out that eating fatty foods, and that a lot of people down here in Tooting, there's a big Indian community and there's lots of curry, and they're Muslim as well. And I was so surprised that there was high liver cirrhosis, because Muslims generally don't drink alcohol. Yeah. So that's when I became aware of it. So that's me sharing a little bit of my lived experience around my own liver health. Yep, and sharing a bit of it, but without making it about me. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, and then the unresolved issue of guilt, shame, and trauma. Let's go there. Yep. So in that window, I'm coaching you. Yep. So I'm not delving into the trauma. Yeah. But what are you doing to help yourself recover from the guilt and shame around what's happened in your past?
I'm really engaging in everything I need to know about addictive nature, and I just like I had to choose what road I wanted to go down when I came out of rehab, and I just thought I want to learn as much about this as possible.
Great. So you're continuously learning.
Yeah.
Great. What else? What else would be helpful?
Self-care.
Okay.
That's like walking my dog, listening to podcasts, or just switching off. I go to my meetings four times a week.
Just correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't over the Christmas time you have some you saw your family and there was like alcohol in the
Yeah.
fridge, and those kind of dynamics there were a bit.
Doesn't bother me.
Okay, great. So that's like, fuck, I'm well in that area.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I've no desire to drink
Wonderful.
today.
Yep, I got it.
Yeah.
It's fucking tickle in my throat. Okay, good. All right. So at the top of that picture, you want to get curious around the client's experience. That's really the multiple pathways to recovery stuff. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep. So Olivia's had a good 12-step experience. Yeah. Okay, I got to drink something. Anthony, take over.
Hey guys.
Throw you in there.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I guess we're talking about experience, the client's experience. I guess for you, what is your experience, Olivia?
My son gone to live with his dad, having contact every week for 2 hours for £85. For 2 years that was going for. I had to be supervised if I was outside the contact centre with one of my siblings. My daughters couldn't be involved in that. They had to kind of see him on their own, or see him when one of my sisters were with me. So I kind of found it really difficult to kind of to happen. Just the whole legal system, the like being treated like going into places that's totally out of like a friendly kind of environment, stuck in a room with a stranger, typing up every word that you're saying, trying to engage with your son for 2 hours. Yeah, and then kind of having my two older girls, they've actually been quite amazing, actually. They're my biggest supporters. I'm so proud of them, what they went through, especially my youngest daughter, because she was the one that found the hidden bottles and everything like that. Then I was in and out of hospital.
So Olivia, just pause for a second. What was Anthony? Thank you for jumping in the container. What was the question you asked?
I just asked Olivia to share what her experience was in the Collins window, the experience part at the top,
Okay, and where's Olivia going?
with her lived experience of that
Yeah.
situation. Yeah.
And how's Olivia's story, telling the story, impacting her body?
Can see she's a bit agitated.
Yeah, okay. It's getting a bit tender, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Wonderful. All right. So just if you could just pause there for a second, Olivia. Yeah.
Mhm.
Just when we're listening to people's stories, let's just be aware of that as well. And then just bring safety to it. Yep. So Olivia, are you okay to do this?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah. How is talking about this helpful for you?
I am not hiding away from what happened. I'm not in denial about it. I've accepted it.
Okay,
Time to move on.
so accountability and
Yeah,
acceptance.
yeah.
All right. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so this is the reason we're talking about this and you're sharing this. It's good for you. Yep. Okay. So Anthony, do you see the difference there? There's us like, oh, tell us about the story because there's something that might be benefiting us. We need to just put it back with Olivia and just kind of work out how is this beneficial for you, Olivia,
Yeah.
talking about this stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
And now we know acceptance and accountability. Carry on. Back to you, Anthony.
Back to me.
Time for fuck.
I feel like I'm doing a share.
Yeah. Okay, good. Some humor's good. Some humor. The body language. Yeah. What's going on in your body, Olivia? I
Oh,
feel like I'm
I'm
doing a share.
no, I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm good.
No, you're beyond okay. You're fucking brilliant.
Um, I can remember being in rehab. One of the things in rehab, and I was with my key worker, and she was talking about being a manageable and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, "I'm the best mom in the world. Like, how dare you insult me like that?"
Oh, well, that
and then
movie, huh?
and then they got me and they were like, really, were you really, you were giving your older children money to get out of the house so you could drink, and you're putting your son to bed before his normal bedtime just so you could have a drink? Is that manageable behavior? And I was like, fuck it, she's got me. So I had to take accountability for that. I don't hold any resentments towards his dad. His dad could have stopped the 2 years sooner than he did. I have to kind of push that aside. I don't like that kind of live in my head. I just want what's best for my son.
How are you feeling now, Olivia?
I'm okay. I'm good. Yeah. Yeah, so I was in and out of hospital. I had fluid on my lungs. I had five blood transfusions. I had just like, and every time I came out, pick up again, all that kind of stuff. So me taken away from society and being locked away was the best thing I'd done. And came out, and my mind was just, let's figure out what's going on here. Because I met other people in addiction in there as well. So I was curious about what actually behind all this. Some people say it's trauma. I can't
So
blame
you're
my,
curious, huh?
yeah, I can't blame my trauma. My parents died when I was quite young. Um, Something happened to me when I was quite young. Um, but I don't look back on that and think like that made me an alcoholic, because if it did, I would have been an alcoholic when I was 12, not when I was 37. That's when my addiction started to kind of And Irish doesn't make me an alcoholic either. If I hear that one more time in a room, I, I might actually kill somebody.
Okay, great. So just time out.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's the cultural stuff and the dismissive racism, for want of a better word, because I like, or stereotypical behavior, but like, oh, fucking Irish people drink. Yeah, it's because you're Irish, it's your ancestors, it's your genes, it's your, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and it pisses you off if I hear that one more time, da 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 da.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And sometimes other people would say, yeah, I need to hear that you don't understand we're fucking Irish.
Yeah.
Does that? Okay.
Uh,
All right.
yeah. So I came out, went back to the local drug and alcohol unit because I had to do 6 weeks aftercare with them. They asked me to come in as a volunteer, and I've been doing that ever since. My access with my son is nearly every weekend now since December. My daughter thinks I'm a package picker upper because every time the door knocks, I get all excited and there's a package for her, and she doesn't even live here. So, so I've got to it's lovely being a mum again, and they
It's
ring me up.
lovely being a mum again.
Yeah, they ring me up for support, or if they need a lift home, or if they just want something simple, just want to stay a couple of
And
nights.
when you talk about that, how does that make you feel?
Yeah, it makes me feel proud and happy.
Proud and happy.
Yeah,
Okay.
because they did go
So,
through a lot. I have to
so
come.
now you're feeling proud and happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's your next step from a proud and happy place?
For myself to get a job in recovery to help other people come out the other side, basically. Just guide them through and walk along with them, don't kind of
So
be
just stay
a counselor.
proud and happy. Just
Okay.
stay in the proud and happy space. And I'm laboring the point a bit because when we're coaching someone, if we're coaching them in a proud and happy space, it's a very different experience to coaching them in the guilt and shame traumatized space. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
we've moved Olivia to a place of, I'm proud, I'm happy, I'm a package picker upper for my daughter, my son's this, and I take people here and there. It's a very different energy. It's more of a solutions-based space than of your guilt and shame, help me get out of it. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yeah. It's if I can add, it's almost like
Please
in the
add.
guilt. It's almost like in the guilt and shame space, what you're doing is you're holding a flashlight. And then when you move from to the proud and happy space, it's almost like, yeah, why don't you hold it for a little while and see how that feels?
You've got some good metaphors, Trevor.
I've done a thing last week with with one of my groups, the on and off switch. Has anybody ever gone through that? Done that kind of analogy? It's like one type of side of your brain is on, and when you use the other side, kind of is not using, and then that means it's off, and then all of a sudden your brain goes into off because every time you use, it's got dampening all your emotions and your feelings and this and that and the other, and then the more your brain gets used to that, the more of an autopilot happens, and then but you can recover from it. You can try to put little breaks in when you pick up and when you use, and then that tricks the mind back into thinking. Am I right? Does that make any sense to anybody?
So
Calvin?
what I've learned about you, Olivia, is you love that cognitive stuff.
Mm.
You love the kind of the theory and the tools around that, which is great. Yes, you made complete sense.
Mm.
Yeah, I think um, for me, it points back. I don't know if you know the Sada, but Rashada does this thing where he speaks about the the accelerator, the brake, and cruise.
Yeah.
And for me, that's kind of what you're highlighting is that you're either trying to get somewhere or stop something, but very rarely are you just cruising.
Yeah.
In fact, Rasada just did a workshop on trauma, which we recorded on Thursday. So if you want to watch the recording, it's on the platform.
Okay.
And he talks about all the different types of trauma, and it was I really enjoyed it. But then I'm addicted to the shit. All right, should we take a 7-minute break here, Ross?
Yeah, 7 minutes exactly.
Yeah, okay. Great. Everyone good with that?
Yeah.
Olivia, thank you so much.
Ah, that's-
I'll be 1 second. Right, great. Hello, welcome back. So, Craig, what's the first thing we do?
the first thing we do. We're going to continue with Olivia.
Check in.
Oh, we're going to check in again.
Always, like repeated.
But I
Check
thought
in,
we'd done that,
contract,
Dave.
build
Sorry,
the contact. I know it's so fucking simple, it's difficult.
Okay, I'll check in. Grounded and more relaxed.
Great. Who are you taking? Okay, Treven.
I'll tag Olivia.
Okay,
Keep
Olivia.
her on a roll.
Yeah, I'm feeling grounded too. Thanks for letting me tell a little bit about my story. I tag in Ross.
I feel inspired and a lot more educated than I did at the start of this call. So yeah, I'm grateful for everyone, especially Olivia, opening up and sharing the lived experience, life experience. Yeah, it goes a long way. I will check in Anthony.
Thanks, Matt. Yeah, checking in. Glad to be on here. And yeah, it's been quite a powerful first session. I am feeling quite grounded, a little bit distracted. I've got a few things going on in the background, which is annoying. But yeah, all good otherwise. I will tag Trevan.
I am checking in cold and worried about my chili plants because the weather seems to be changing, yeah. And yeah, I'm just worried about my plants.
Worried about your chilies?
Yeah.
Okay. Marcus.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. It's inspiring hearing people's experiences. So it's taken me on a little side quest. So I was a little bit distracted towards that end part. But yeah,
Where did it take you?
just looking into the whole financial aid for families and contact centers, and there's stuff out there. So I'll forward it on to you, Olivia, and
Yes, please.
show you my findings. So hopefully it helps.
Thank you.
I feel like crying. That really kind of opens my heart and I can feel my eyes watering. And that's the compassion coming in that I experience in these containers, like the support and the care. It feels so nice.
Dave, just a simple question. So it's new for me to check in a second time, and obviously there's a check out. So is that the structure? So whenever you have a break, you check in again.
Yeah, we drill it home here. Yep, and after a while, you're going to be unconsciously competent around this. Yeah, you're going to do it so much. It's like driving your car on the highway, and you go out and you get pissed, and then you wake up at home, and you don't remember how you got there. Yeah, I'm sure that's happened to you.
Not anymore, Dave.
No, I know not anymore, and I'm just using it as a metaphor. It's like, but the so there's two things with lived experience. Yeah. A lot of people that come into the training don't know how good they are already. So they are unconsciously competent. Yep. And then other people come in here and they don't realize how incompetent they are. Yep. They just think, oh, I've done this, and they don't know actually how complex this thing is. And what we're trying to do is bring it together. So people become consciously incompetent. They go, oh shit, okay, I need to learn this stuff. And then they become consciously competent. Like, okay, fuck, David wants me to check in. I must build the container. Okay, what do we do? Okay, everyone, let's check in. And we repeat it here just to kind of drill the working in. And I do it, it's become so natural to me that my kids turn around and go, fuck off, Dad, stop coaching me. It's like, it just becomes like listening at levels 1, 2, and 3. You listen for the vibe. You can feel the stuff in the room. You start to notice how other people just listen to respond, or listen to react, and listen to respond, or they don't listen. Yep. And you become more and more aware of this stuff. And the downside of this is it can become quite lonely. And yeah, and then you just want to kind of hang around in meetings like this all the time. Okay. So where should we take the container now? So Craig, the next principle is once you've created the container guides the agenda. Yeah. Ross.
I've got a direction, and it's based on the fact that I didn't know that you had to pay to visit your children. That's brand new to me. Took me back a little bit, actually, to be honest with you. So maybe it'll be nice to take the container on the direction of like what resources are out there, what sort of catalog should we kind of create to kind of pass on to our clients if they need it or not. If that's it.
Can I just mention one thing? The dad had to pay £85 as well. So it was £170 in all for 2 hours. Is that right? Yeah, 170.
Okay, so let's just pause a second and just notice what's happening to your body. Yeah. As you kind of realize that there's this industry, yeah, that parents have to pay to see their kids under in like a type of a fishbowl environment. Yes, Olivia?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. All right. So just notice what happens to your body as you realize this. Because what happens to me is it activates me and it reminds me of when having to visit my son and play with him while people were watching me through a glass window to see how I would behave as a dad. And that had a profound traumatic impact on me, on my son, and I imagine the people that were watching. But it's taken me a long time to forgive those fuckers. Yeah. So I have a lot of anger around that stuff. Yep. I was also a fucking psychotic crackhead. Proper psychotic.
I just want to
Can I
pick
just
up on the. Oh, go on, Siobhan.
Can I just add? I think that This is my personal opinion, of course, like take it with a pinch of salt. Lots of salt actually. But when it comes to forgiveness, to forgive means to forget, right? And for a human being to forget, it requires something like Alzheimer's or dementia. And so I don't think that forgiveness is a thing. I think it's more so you can learn to live with what people have done and what you have done to people and move on from it.
Mm.
But as long as the conscious memory creates some sort of emotion, forgiveness hasn't taken place.
So Treven, is this a frap? As you put this in the container, so a frap is fixing, rescuing, advising, and projecting. So we
But
heard a story. Yep, I asked what it felt in your body, and the way that you responded, Treven, was that a frap? That's a yes/no question, just based on your knowledge.
yeah, it was.
Okay, which part of it was a frap?
Um, I think that the frap was um, trying to save you from um, the aspect of forgiveness, right? It's trying to give you a way out of it.
Okay, so you were trying to give me something.
Yeah,
Okay, so first of all, thank you very much. That's lovely. Yeah. But in the coaching space, we're trying to uh, 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 a different response would be, and I can't find the word, so excuse my shortage of language, was like, fuck David, how the fuck are you gonna get over that now and move on? Does that make it's such a charged topic, and I realized, if I can just please indulge me for a bit around this, is me carrying the guilt and shame around that and telling this story. One day my son was listening to it and I could see that he felt disappointed isn't the right word, but my son has nothing but kind of admiration for me and my madness, and he doesn't want to see me in a place of shame.
Mm.
And it made me realize that it's actually better for my son if I don't live in that space anymore. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Treven, thank you for that, and for the frap. It's a great lesson. And I'm not saying that we don't frap, but just when we're in the role of coaching, we try and avoid that stuff.
yeah.
It's like I get paid a lot of money to tell people, fuck, I don't know what to do. What are you going to do here? Yeah. And I've coached some heavy hitting CEOs. Yep. Who are so used to people advising them and telling them, and then just sit in a space and listen to the bloke and then say, fuck, I don't know. What are you going to do about that? That sounds different. You can actually see the relief where they actually go, fuck, okay, here's someone who's listening to me. Does that make sense? Yes, of course it makes sense. You're not stupid. That's just my anxiety. Fucking.
I was going to ask, just to understand, like, how does the contact center feel? Because I have a personal experience. I felt it was clinical, and lacked facilitation. Like, how does it feel? And if you could create your ideal environment to have contact, obviously the ideal situation would be you wouldn't do it in a contact center. If you had an ideal environment, what would that feel like in contrast to how it is for you now?
Is that for me?
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. To have a garden, for one. To have toys that are not broken and missing. I found myself bringing toys to the contact center. So also paying 100 or 75 pound, plus I was paying the petrol money, or 85 pound, plus I was paying petrol money to go to Croydon, which is an hour away. That's back and forward. I cook him a meal before I go, so that's food, and then I buy him a new toy to play there because the facilities there wasn't enough for him to kind of be to do anything. So yeah, there's lots of things that I could have, you know, it was just ridiculous, you know. And then the woman in the room typing every word, following you. If we need to go to the toilet, I couldn't even take him to the toilet. She had to stand in the doorway waiting for me to take him to the toilet. All those kind of things.
It's a very controlled environment.
Yeah. And Dad would wait in a different room to me because he didn't want to see me or speak to me. So he would come 15 minutes before me. I'd turn up, Dad'd go, and then Dad'll come, and then he gets pushed back. So what that's created in my son's life is that he's afraid that, like now, the way pick up and drop off is like we meet in between. Keane gets out of my car, he goes into Dad's car, and then he gets out of Dad's car and comes into my car. And he'll go to me before we get there, Mum, don't get out of the car, or I'll email Daddy and I'll text Daddy and I'll tell him we're on our way. What are we going? He's like anxious about me dropping him off and picking up just in case. So that's what's been created in that scenario as well. So I just said to my son, like, nothing's going to happen, everything's going to be okay. You know, I'm allowed to see Daddy, and just kind of make him feel a little bit better. But yeah, just all those little things that are happening inside this little boy's mind, you know, and he's only 8. So he was been going on since he was 4.5.
You guys are really getting a good understanding of the system, huh? It's like, and the complexity of this. This is a great class.
I just want to ease the burden of guilt on your mind, just from a personal point of view. Like,
So are you going into FRAP, Marcus?
Yeah.
Okay, great. So stick with that. Yeah. So let's just, FRAP is fix, rescue, advise, and project. Now, before you want to say, and we'll hear what you want to say, but which one of these does it touch? Fix, rescue. I want to ease your mind. Yeah.
So I think it's there's a bit of
whose mind
a bit of
needs to be
everything.
at ease?
Rescue, I think. The rescue, maybe.
It's kind of a bit of projection of my own experience, a bit of
Great.
rescue,
So there's a
and a bit
projection of your
advice.
stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Okay, so what is your stuff?
So, I mean, I've been estranged in between 2 parents, myself, and that's been facilitated by authorities at some point during that situation. But it was just kind of if you like it's guilty, like the guilt that you carry. Just look and just know that it will fuel your son to want to work towards a better world, just like we're all doing now, because he will see the injustice in it. And I don't think we can shield people and children from these environments because they won't change otherwise. So it's just a little bit of hope offering that he will make his own mind up about these situations, and hopefully he will go and do better in the world.
Thank you.
But yeah, that was meant to be nice and light and not heavy.
And just remember, everyone, we're here to learn about recovery coaching. Yep, and this particular class is about community of practice, and that's where we all come together to talk about what's it like practicing as a community of coaching in this system, particularly in the UK. Yeah, we've got a couple of South Africans here, but if you had to tell them, listen, you've got to pay to fucking go see your kids, they'll give you what's called a push club.
Especially if it's £170 with our exchange rate.
Yeah. Okay, so it's now there's a third world, first world context. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this container, huh?
Mhm.
Okay, so Craig, what have you noticed in this container that you've created? What's the agenda? Who brought the agenda in?
The agenda is the visiting rights of children, or around the children. Other thing that I've noticed is that there's a lot of tension with Ross when he spoke now. I noticed a lot of pain. Olivia talking, I wanted to ask her a question, but we'll carry on to this, is when she spoke about that experience, not just for her, but for her son, and having to interact with her ex-partner. Sounded like it was a very, very, really emotional, difficult experience. Yeah, so I think the agenda is we've stuck to the agenda. We've nailing the agenda, and also
Okay.
I'm learning about frapping and projecting.
Yeah, good. Okay.
That's coming. Also, unlearning, like you said, some of us think we're competent, but we're actually unconfident. So learning to listen more. So
Okay.
yeah, I've taken a lot out of this
Great.
container today. And
Great.
check in, obviously, Dave. I won't leave that
Checking
out.
in. Okay. So I've actually forgotten what the agenda was, because Ross put his hand up and said, can you guys remember what Ross said when
He wanted a sort of manual or a handout on how to actually deal with this. In other words, the process and contact numbers to make it easier, if I understood him
no,
correctly.
that was Marcus.
No, it was
Yeah,
Ross at the end, wasn't it?
yeah. Ross said about looking at organizations that are there. How can we
Oh
build a
yes,
bank
yeah.
of knowledge
Okay.
to refer our
Okay,
clients to?
so some recovery capital resources, external recovery capital resources to help someone in this situation. Great. Yeah, you guys are doing wonderful. But can any of you lip read? Because Olivia's talking and she's muted.
Sorry, I'm in a different borough than my son. So I went to my borough and I asked them to help me fund the contact. And they said because he lives in the other borough,
I just said, fuck up.
they couldn't do it. And then when I applied for that, they said because it was privately, it wasn't through social services, it was private. He was taking me to court for custody. So it was privately funded. So that's why we didn't get any funding for the, because if you're in the system, you will get funding help. But if you're not in the system, if you're in the kind of private sector bit of it, in the courts, then you've got to pay.
Okay, great. All right. So now we're getting the commercialization of misery. Yeah.
And I didn't pick up a drink.
No,
Yay.
well done, love. Olivia, you're doing fucking great. You're doing great. So I just want us to quickly just look to the United States and the private prison system that they've got there, and how that institution, like you had judges colluding with private companies to send people to these private prisons, and the judges had shares in the system. So, well, Marcus, of course you're guilty, and I'm sentencing you to 5 years at this prison, and the prison profits. So just have that there. And then also I want to just acknowledge Marcus as well for we're trying to sell this school, this training online, and to promote the profession of this. Marcus came back with some a very helpful email to me around affiliates out there that sell trainings for commissions, and how people want to jump on these things. Yeah. Now you can see this in the fellowships as well, and with referral agents. And there's a good movie called Body Broking and things like that, where there's a lot of unethical behavior that happens when people are vulnerable.
Mm.
We're not going to be able to stop that. We need to be okay that this stuff happens and not behave like that ourselves. Hence, community of practice, group supervision, individual supervision. Yeah, so there's some heavy stuff that's been spoken about that activates us. Like Marcus, his stuff was activated from his past. Yeah, which is a wound that has really helped him in his profession now. Yeah. It's like, fuck, that was very painful as a kid. I'm going to go and do something about it. Is that fair to say, Marcus?
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, it
It's,
took
I
some
mean, it's a lot
it
more complex.
took some healing to get to that point, and yeah, value my experience as that. So I had to move from being a victim of my circumstances to being empowered by my circumstances.
Okay. Anthony, where are you today?
Yeah, I'm just listening, taking in what I can really.
And what's your takeaway today?
Very vulnerable container, I think. And there's been a lot to kind of learn and take away, especially around the systems, a lot of stuff that I didn't really know that Olivia's been through, which is, it's very testing as especially when you're in recovery. I guess
That
that's
was a big breath. Did you see how his chest just went, oh, very testing?
yeah, so
Yeah. But
very brave and
what's in the
courageous.
testing part, Anthony?
Not picking up, going through all of that in early recovery.
Okay, far.
Yeah, like that's a lot of stuff to be going
People
through.
go. Okay. So it adds to the revolving door syndrome.
Yeah, I guess it shows how strong Olivia is by not doing that, which is amazing, really.
Yeah, yeah. And Olivia's in the minority.
Yeah,
The majority of people get completely overwhelmed. Yeah. And then it's like, oh, well, fuck it. What's the point?
Mm.
yeah,
So that's also why a harm reduction approach is a good thing. Building rapport with someone and walking with them on that journey. Does that make sense to everyone? Some people say it's got to be complete abstinence. Yeah. Yeah. You got to hit rock bottom, and when you've hit there, fucking talk to me, and then when you stop, and you got to do da 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 da. Oh, you're on your way to rock bottom. Cool. Let's go. Okay. Anytime you want to get off the roller coaster, let's go. You don't have to do that. It's over here. But if you want to, that's. Does that make sense? There's a bit of a
Yeah.
difference.
mm,
I
So
think what
yes, Treven.
I think what's been coming up for me the last few weeks is that um, if you look at the recovery space and this industry, is that people fall into the bracket of knowing what causes it and knowing how to fix it. And that kind of irritates me because if we knew, it would be as simple as somebody having diabetes and they go into and get their medication and then they find. The idea that people are not getting well in the majority means we haven't figured this out yet. But if we're so quickly falling into, I know what causes addiction and I know what solves it and I know what you need to do, we, as a community, what happens is we stop ourselves from continuing to learn about it with an open mind. And for
So
me, what's
chat,
come up in this
start,
process,
yes. Talk from the I, yep.
yeah,
So with me, I'm learning, yep.
for
Keep going.
me, for me, what's come up in this process is that I need to keep my mind frame in a state where the only thing that I know is that I know nothing. And that way, I'm always open to learning about new methods and new techniques and viewing it from a fresh perspective all the time so that I don't get stuck in a certain manner of thinking in terms of this is what causes it and this is what fixes it. And yeah, seeing that occur in the world, well, in this space is kind of is frustrating for me.
Okay. So how are you guys finding the structure of this training? The learning style here, how are you finding it?
I
I
think
think it's a
that
sorry.
Craig, go Craig.
Yeah, Dave, I think what I found in the couple of containers that I've come in is that it's all about you're not trying to solve something, you're trying to get the information from the person and they can find the way to go on their own journey and help themselves, and to a lot of that comes from, like you say, it may be slightly structured as check-in, but it's very unstructured if I look at it. It's very
Thank you.
holistic.
Great. So you're experiencing it as quite unstructured, like, what the fuck's going on here? Great. It's meant to be like that. Okay,
No,
Trevin, what were you going to say?
I was going to say that the training has a mainframe, which I like to
The
work from
what?
because it has a frame of how you should work, which I like because it's a point of reference. And it's very open. If someone has a perspective, it's always welcome, right? And I appreciate that because it means that it's a learning environment. How can we figure this out together? How can we add more to the basin of knowledge that we already have? And I appreciate it on that sense.
So on this side, where I'm doing the plus, I'm going to say that's positive psychology. And then down on this continuum at the bottom, I'm going to say negative psychology, just because I can't find a different word. But somebody over here, it would be, you can see in the background, you've got the jelly neck curve here. Yeah. But someone over here in the place of, well, it's quite loose and unstructured and quite, and as someone descends, and there's more and more chaos. My one friend just got sentenced for 25 years. Phoned me on Sunday night because he's a habitual criminal now. He goes inside, he gets clean, he comes out, gets into a relationship, smokes crack, ends up stealing, gets put into, and he's really put into a very hard structured environment. Yep. He has a long history of childhood trauma. Yep. But he needs to be contained like that. Where we're working here is very loose and unstructured, but there is a framework. Does that make sense to everyone? And just the looseness of the container can be quite traumatic for people. What the fuck's going on here? I'm expecting PowerPoint presentations. I'm expecting this. Like, what is this thing? These people are chaotic. They're swearing. It's in they're fucking wow, 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 wow. And it's designed like that because a lot of the people that come here learn with a different learning style. Yes, Trevin.
I think every explorer needs a ship, right? And the framework serves as a ship. It's where you take the ship in the end.
Hey, he's the fucking metaphor, man. Huh? Every explorer needs a ship. I love it. Did you see the presentation AI came up with last week? On the last slide, it
I
says it's better to shit in the sink than to sink in the ship. The AI picked it up. And
yeah, metaphors are my thing.
a metaphor is a wonderful thing for linking left and right brain thinking. It's the bridge.
Yeah.
Yep. So when Olivia was talking earlier about one side of the brain being activated from drinking and the other one being numbed, yep, the metaphor. Yawn, Anthony, yawn. Suck me into the screen.
Sorry, man.
No. Don't say sorry. Don't say sorry. It's cool. Okay, let's just do a quick check-in. Yep. How you feeling? What are you learning? We'll go popcorn style. So when you're ready to pop, just pop.
Let me pop. Level 3 listening. The actual structure of the framework, and then the total unstructuredness of the container. Learning not to frap, learning that different people's got different information that I can learn from. So also unlearning and listening. And the big thing for me is to actually talk less. I learn more when I talk less in this container. And as I get more confident, then I can add more. Not just open and blurt out.
Wonderful, Craig. I think Craig summed it up for all of you. If you've got something different, then well done. Marcus.
I feel like we came away from Ross's original direction for taking the container to discussing resources and creating that catalog. So we'll pick that back up if when everyone's checked in. I don't know.
Great. So getting us back on track to the agenda. Wonderful learning. Great. Who's next?
I'm interested in what Marcus has to say, what he's found.
Great. Okay.
So I've got a question for, I guess, you, David, in respect of you act in the UK. What mechanisms are in the organisation by way of referral knowledge and understanding around this particular topic? Is it a weak area? Is it something that needs improving, or are there people that have understanding that we could safely refer to at this point?
Yeah, I'll get back to that in a second of what our kind of structure is around that.
Mhm.
Trevin, Anthony, Ross.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go on, Siobhan.
No, go for it, Ross.
Okay. No, I mean, just probably just checking in as kind of the same I did before. I took on a lot here, and you know, feel a lot more confident and a lot more like sure of myself going forward, and yeah, excited to take on the day now. Yeah.
Trevin, Anthony.
I think, yeah. I think for me, I'm just a bit frustrated sometimes when the the gaps in the system come up, like paying to see your children and the hoops and loops that people have to jump through to get well, it frustrates me. And yeah, I'm just sitting with a bit of frustration, which is okay. I mean, it's important sometimes, but yeah, that's where I'm at.
So, for me, I guess it's the power of the lived experience and being in these containers as opposed to reading the theory. Like, seem to learn something about someone else's experience, and it shows you how like broad this whole spectrum of recovery and the culture of addiction can be, I guess, you know. I had no idea that you paid to see your children when you're in that situation, you know, and I guess it's those gaps in the system. But Treven's just said, you know, it's there's always something to be learned being in this container, I think. And it's great.
Okay, so what we're going to do now is you're going to have some group homework. Yep. And it's going to be led by Marcus and Olivia to find out what external recovery capital resources are available when this situation comes up that you can refer to. Yep, so it falls in asset-based community development, where you want to look at the assets in your community and where you are. You don't want to reinvent the wheel. You're trying to bring the system to come together and work together. If Olivia and her husband were able to work together better, yep, they wouldn't have had to go into the system for contact centers. Does that make sense? Yeah. I'm not saying, I'm just using it as a very loose example, Olivia. Yeah. But so what are the resources? Yep. Marcus, Olivia, you okay to pull this together?
Yeah, sure.
Yep. So Marcus, this will go towards part of your portfolio of evidence for your certification, if that's something that you want to do. Yeah. So it's not just doing this work in vain. There's also the evidence that you can do this, and hopefully the task aligns with your own internal values. Like, this is something I want to do because it touches my soul in some sort of way. And then you can bring that to the organization.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the things I struggle with is when people come from first world countries and they come to South Africa or the third world countries, and they'll say, so they'll like see people in the street or something, and they'll go, fuck, we need to report a safeguarding issue here. It's like, fuck, you've no idea. Like, this is just not happening. So also, Craig and Treven, also think about it from your perspective in SA. Yep. So be part of the team here, and just think about what South Africa could move towards, because they've got a very good system over here that has lots of shortcomings, but they're very different challenges in comparison to the African context. So basically in South Africa, the divide between the haves and the have-nots is the biggest in the world. In the UK, it's a lot more closer. The haves and the have-nots are like, everyone has some sort of housing or some sort of healthcare, or yeah.
Dave, I was actually going to ask you that question. You know, you've had some experience in South Africa, but just an example is my domestic lady, the one domestic lady that works over here, she's a granny, she's a grandmother, and she takes the child, you know, so the children aren't always with their parents. So a totally different scenario. So
So South Africa is still struggling from the legacy of apartheid and institutional constructed violence that is so entrenched for the past 100 years. It's very difficult for that deconstruction to happen. It is happening,
Yeah.
and that's a real, I mean, that's a real recovery coaching conversation that we can have. You know, like how do you how do you do that? So South Africans are very entrepreneurial because we have to be, and yeah, everyone's on the farm, and when it rains and the crops get damaged, everyone fucking suffers. Yeah, we just got to distribute the crops a bit more fairly.
100%.
I think as a country, South Africa shares a collective PTSD from the past.
Yeah, there's trauma
And
bonding. There's trauma bonding.
yeah, and it's very difficult to move on from that, right? Because essentially, with the end of apartheid, what happened is we prayed for rain. The thing about praying for rain is that you have to be prepared for the mud. And so now we're in that shift and that slide of who gets what and how it's distributed and how we can remove injustices of the past. And so it's like a pendulum, it's just going and going and going. And it's a lot of frustration in the system because when the system doesn't work, people tend to look back to a system that served a few. And yeah, it's navigating, looking for needles in haystacks continuously.
Yeah, we got our work cut out for us. And the other thing, just for
Yeah.
context, is in South Africa, there are 11 different languages. In England, the whole system's set up in English. Yeah. And then different cultural nuances. Yep, but England's pretty much like, they've got class here. Oh, yes, hello, yes, no, I went to Harrow in Oxford. Yes, we know. Yes. Wah, 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 wah.
I think another thing with South Africa um, is that drugs are also classed. So people in certain areas, depending on your economic or racial background, will use different drugs. And so somehow what happens is if you're using cocaine, it's okay, you're using cocaine, right? Because it's kind of classed upwards. But if you're smoking Mandrax, which is a quaalude, then it's like, oh, okay, that's a bit grimy and disgusting. And so there's also that how we treat drugs depends on what drug you're using and where you're coming from.
So different drugs have different cultures. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Dave, we've got one. I think we're going with the subject here, but you know, one big thing we've got a problem over here is the government's legalized marijuana, and I
Good.
mean, you know, so that's and it's mainly tax. They're making a lot of money from the tax,
Good.
so it's a big issue.
Yeah.
It's how they spend it. That's going to be the challenge. People are always going to use. Anyway, it's 11:49 here in the UK. Let's start the checkout. Marcus, you got this? Olivia, you got this?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Are you all on the school platform?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. All right. So I check out Dying for a Pee, and I really enjoyed today. Yeah, I'll tag Marcus.
I'm checking out. I don't know what the feeling is. My brain's ticking already, so busy, feel busy, and it's going to get busy. So, and it's been a good container. And thank you for everyone sharing what they have. And I'll tag Russ.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm checking out. My mind's going like tenfold because I've had like such a great session here, great conversation. But I have to start a phone call from the garage, and my car is going to cost a load of money to get repaired. So I'm like,
Oh fuck.
got so much going on, like good in my life now with all you guys and being in a great situation. Then you get that one little bad apple, and it's like, oh, that's all you can think about. But no, I'm gonna dust myself off and just finish off with like just huge gratitude to all this knowledge that's been shared today, and it's teaching me it's more than just knowledge. It's teaching me like patience, understanding, belief, value, all these different things that I can help navigate through my life. So yeah, that's me. Thank you. I will tag Olivia.
I check out feeling rallied up now because that's kind of a door I closed and I've just opened it again. And I'm thinking, no, that shouldn't have happened, and I want to do something about that because it's happening not just to me but to other people as well. So a lot of research into who helps who and what helps what. I check out with Anthony.
Thanks, Olivia. Yeah, also desperate for the loo. But I think, yeah, glad to be here. Learned a lot today. And yeah, I was slightly distracted trying to get some football tickets for my son's birthday, but I managed to get them, which is great for Soccer Aid. It's a charity football match on his birthday weekend. So yeah, all good. And I will tag Trevine.
I'm checking out, grateful for this container and this space. I always come here and I always learn, and I'm appreciative of that. Yeah, I will check. Craig, is Craig gone?
Thanks, Trevin. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed today's container. It was quite a myriad of emotions, a lot of emotional stuff shared by Olivia. Thank you for being so vulnerable. A lot of knowledgeable stuff coming from Marcus. And yeah, I'm checking out enlightened and excited at the same time.
Cool.
I think Jack
Is that,
Marcus
is
is a
that,
Marcus.
is that everyone?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been.
Yeah, I think that's everyone. All right. So just Olivia, if any of the homework is something that you don't want to do, just say no thanks, David.
Oh no, I want to do it.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, I know I said like the store closed. It was just like it was always there in the back of my head.
Okay.
And I feel really passionate about it because I don't think it's correct.
So go
Morally.
take this from, and this is a frap. So, but take this from a professional perspective. Yep, I'm doing this to explore this to make it better for people that fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
You're going there you're not going in there to kind of blame things. It's like, guys, it's like getting a meal at a restaurant and then saying, well, this could have been better. And I'm useless at that. People come up to me and they say, how was the food? And I go, it was fine, when it was actually crap, because I don't want to hurt their feelings. So don't listen to me. All right, everyone. Lots of love. See you later. You're good with the recording still?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I'll AI it and make the presentation and do all that stuff.